There it goes. There's the high tech.
Oh, that's perfect.
Say's using the whiteout. Good job, Say.
I'm gonna stick it up there with a Post-it.
Hey, what's up? This is Jason Tucker, and this is WPwatercooler. Just to let you know, when Say builds websites, she definitely doesn't just use like whiteout and everything to try to cover up all the things. But she did that, so that's fun. Oh my goodness. So let's go around the room real quick and get everyone introduced. Again, this is episode number 290. We're 10 away from 300.
Hey, look who popped on.
Hey.
What's up, Russ? How's it going, man?
What up? How's it going?
Going good. Tell us a little about yourself, dude.
I'm Russ. I'm in Las Vegas. I do WordPress stuff, and I'm sitting inside of a casino right now.
You're backlit. I bet you are. Wait. You're also backlit. You're a little backlit.
Yeah. Might want to turn the contrast up on your screen there. Say, how about you? Tell us about yourself.
Oh, hey, hi. My name is Say.
Hi.
Oh, hey there. I make WordPress, teach WordPress, preach WordPress at Say Read Media on all the things.
Nice. Good to have you on, Say. What about you, Steve?
Good to be here.
I am Steve Zehngut. I'm the founder of Zeek Interactive, and I run the OC WordPress meetup.
Awesome. I'm Jason Tucker. You can find me over at Jason Tucker on Twitter. My website is jasontucker.blog. I run the Whittier WordPress meetup with my buddy Ross. I just wanted to be like Steve and have a WordPress meetup that I can talk about for a minute.
Wait, you know what you can do? You can talk when you're talking with other WordPress meetup organizers. You can be like, "Do you love it?" And they can be like, "Yeah, I love it." You can be like, I ran it with Ross.
I run
it with Ross. I run it with
Good
Ross.
job.
Do you love
Oh
it?
my gosh.
I love it. I run it with Ross. Okay, sorry.
You're a dork.
Sorry. You had to be there.
I mean, if we're
No,
getting,
we were here. We were here.
I mean,
What should we have been?
Where was I?
if we're gonna get into that one, then I co-organized the Vegas one. I mean, like if we're gonna dump our credentials right now, I have a VAR dump for you.
A VAR dump for you. Let's VAR dump our credentials. Yes.
So how's everybody's week been? Things going good?
Or wake? Or a week?
Your week.
I just got some fun news.
Oh yeah, what's your news?
The website I was talking about on last week's show, Continuity, I was talking about how it's being presented at an event, but it's actually going to be two components of it. The two interactive components are going to be projected onto the walls as it's like an art event. So it's gonna be like kind of like as an art exhibit. And I'm excited because it's like the first time. I just think reflecting on, as a web developer, we're always like behind the scenes, we're making the thing, and then like people take it out and like, it's people don't think to ask, oh, who made this website or, and so I'm excited to have it's like my work is going to be like on exhibit, like presented as like, an art piece. I'm kind of excited about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's an installation on the internet.
Installation. It's in this case, it's actually an installation in a physical space, which is why it's different than being an installation on the internet.
So they're projecting the website onto a wall?
Yeah. So, and
Is
then
it touch
they're going to
screen?
have.
Do they have
Yeah,
to run up there and try to touch it?
Yeah, are people going to go and
touch it.
click the wall?
That would be really cool. But no, it's just they're going to have the computer and be able to do it, right from there. And people showing them how to use the arts map and the artist directory.
They could do that thing on the wall where you actually get to interact like that mat or that floor thing they have at the mall where you have to stomp on the fish and you know what I'm talking about? That game you see in the middle of the wall?
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all.
Yes.
So they're just walking around all over Say's work. That might be a pretty cool idea. We should definitely.
Oh yeah, project your website onto the floor.
And then you're scrolling with your feet.
In this case, that would work because it's an art map. So you could actually part of it is the satellite image from Google. So it's like you could actually, in theory, do that.
I think you need to suggest that.
Yeah, I think you do too.
I'm going to let them do their thing and project my work as they see appropriate. I'm excited about it.
I think you need a QR code that takes them to a website, and then you can do like draw attention or something like that, and have an interactive map.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
There is an interactive map on the website already. That exists.
That's the thing. All right.
That is the thing that exists. I mean, that's the thing that I built that is being projected. Anyway, the point is none of that. The point is I was just thinking about that as web developers. You know, we build these things that are, if they run well, right? You don't see the thing. You don't really, you know, you only really comment on a website's like how it works. And one, unless you're a web developer, or two, unless it's broken, right? If something, I mean, I guess you might be like, oh, this website works really well. But like, you know, you never really think about like who made this component of this website, or, you know, I just think it's interesting to think about because we build a lot of the stuff that people interact with all the time, and it's invisible work.
Yeah, you never get to present it on a public forum where you are actually there seeing them see it.
Actually, inside of all my page templates, I just add a comment that says "developed by Russ," and I just share my link.
In all your page templates?
Yeah, no, that would be horrible.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow.
You do leave the counter at the bottom, though, right? Just to make sure.
And a dancing baby.
That would be awesome, though, if that was like still your calling card that you leave at the bottom of every site. In your contract, it's like, okay, yeah, make this fancy site.
That website counter was rad. It was totally accurate. That was pre-Google Analytics.
Dude, they ran on Java. Come on.
Accurate. Look, I've got 15 views.
Look, refresh. Look at all the people coming.
It wasn't 15. It was 0.000000015. Look at all the zeros I have.
Made you look special. But you know, you're reaching for the stars. You're wanting to make sure that you had the accurate number of places there, just in case you got that high up there.
Why did we suddenly become afraid of sharing our data like that? You know, we were so open in the initial days of the web. We're like, look how many people have come through here, and now we're like, don't look at my analytics.
Back in the day, my buddy Ian ran a company called R Vision, and they did all kinds of creative stuff with that counter. One of my favorite ones is they had their logo was like that, you know, that little frog with the suction cup, that little toy frog with the suction cup on its chin, and you fold it down to its feet, and then you wait, and then it flips over. That was their mascot guy, and they took it and they put him under a guillotine, right, in this art, and every time you click every time you refresh the page, the guillotine went down like a pixel, or you know, it was like a pixel for every 1,000 hits or something, and you just kept refreshing until it finally it cut the frog in half. It was awesome.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. What I don't understand. Like,
was that to get people to hit refresh to try to get more people?
It was to boost their traffic. It's all it was.
That's so smart.
It was like the original clickbait, is what.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, that's what it was.
There was a website called Joe Cartoon or something, and it had like a little mouse or a hamster that you put in a blender, and like you just,
I remember that.
Yeah. What the hell?
Oh yeah, I love that.
That's kind of like the same thing here.
What are you even saying?
It was before you were born, Sai.
The internet used to be a cool place.
It used to be.
Yeah, you used to have like, you know, pureed hamsters and guillotined frogs. That's awesome. By the way, those still exist. Those just aren't in image form anymore. Now they're like terrible films on like 4K.
Now they're real.
They're real.
Now it's red asphalt films about.
It's not as fun anymore as it used to be. You know, it loses all of its appeal when it goes live action. The little frog guillotine.
Yeah, no, these were just toys.
Hey, so since you've been around since, you know, the dark ages, Steve, I wonder about that. What have you been, you know, just reflecting on how kind of excited I was about, like, you know, I was like, oh, this work's going to be presented. Like, have you ever had any sort of like that type of thing happen, or like, you know, get an award for your work or anything like that?
I have actually, yeah. I've won several awards.
Tell us about them.
I've been published in a couple of books. I've won several awards. My favorite one was I won a South by Southwest award for something we did for HBO. Yeah, I flew into South by Southwest. I was speaking the next day, and I got invited to this award show, and they said, you have to come. And I was like, all right. And so I got there. Literally, as soon as I walked in, they were announcing the category, and they said, Steve Zehngut. And I got up on stage. I had nothing prepared, and I had to give a speech. I had to accept my award and give a speech.
That's your best time. time. It really is.
And I was like high on adrenaline. I just got up there and I must have given like a Cuba Gooding Jr. type of speech jumping around the stage.
Show me the money.
I was so happy. But yeah, I won the award for a game that we built for The Sopranos called Big Pussy's Poker Heaven. I'm not kidding.
I don't even know where to put that in.
That was a character. He was a character.
I know. I remember him well. He got that.
I literally have the award still around here somewhere. But yeah,
it's probably right next to your Oscar.
not that this was like really close or anything, but I won an award. See, like I got a podcasting award, but it was for
awesome.
best geek podcast.
Well, that's appropriate. What was your geek podcast?
I used to do a podcast called Geek Fit. It was a health and fitness podcast. And
wow, you were so ahead of the curve. It's unbelievable.
But here's the deal, though. No, not only was I ahead of the curve, this was spring of 2008.
That's awesome.
So, like, you started the curve, basically.
Podcasts weren't even a thing yet.
You're like the OG Fitspo.
I was. It was very much so OG.
Pre-IG, OG Fitspo. That's your hashtag, just in case.
I actually, the only reason I thought
I killed Russ with that. I slaughtered Russ. He died.
That was like if you were daisy chaining a hashtag, like.
Your hashtag has hashtags in it.
Your hashtag, it has hashtags. Your hashtag's hashtag.
You guys are dorks. The only reason I thought about
geeks.
it recently,
we're award-winning geeks.
Actually. Absolutely. The only reason I thought about it recently is because we cleaned out the office and I had a box with all of my
your Oscars,
PR, and any mentions that we ever had. We had a lot of them. I had in a box, and I have that. It's now in the attic.
What, you didn't put them right behind you? You should put them right behind you. Here's your, like, when you graduated from middle school, and then when you graduated from elementary school, and then when you graduated from high school. Well, you should have put all those right behind you, Steve. It would have looked really nice.
It's funny you should mention that because my parents are picture framers. They own an art gallery. So everything like that has been framed. And I have in the attic, I have a stack of about 50 pieces of I wouldn't call them art. I have 50
flair. I'd say flair.
Yeah, I've framed things, and I have no wall space for them, right? And so they're just all of my awards and mentions are preserved. They're in a frame. They're just sitting in the attic.
Wow, that is so great. And also, I need to give them some business.
There you go.
Sorry, I literally did not know that. I'm like, great. Because if you're going to need to get something framed, you might as well go to Steve's parents.
LA Art Exchange in Santa Monica.
Steve, you
LAartexchange.com.
For all your art,
runs on Drupal.
For all your art pieces, you need one of those things where, like at Walmart, where it's just like a poster and like you keep flipping through it. Like, you need one of those.
That would be cool in an office. Actually, that'd be like a cool way to do it.
I will give a tip to our audience.
Your audience.
Oh, okay.
We get it.
Both of the people that like me that watch this show. Everybody else don't listen. No, I will give a tip to our audience. Getting those awards and getting those mentions is actually not that difficult, right? So if you follow, like, think with the big ones is the Webbies, right? The Webbies actually don't get that many entries, right? So they break it down into categories, kind of like the Oscars, and they don't get that many people that submit. So pay attention to when those things come out, and if you have something that fits one of the categories, just submit it. You might get nominated. You never know. Right. So, and there's a ton of awards and mentions and things that you can get, but they actually don't get that many people that enter.
So we could win like one of longest running WordPress podcasts in the category of stuff that has nothing to do with WordPress most of the time, and we'll win that one, right? We'll totally win that one.
You two can get up on stage and jump around like Cuba Gooding Jr.
Don't need the money.
Show me the money.
What is the digital way to EGOT? You know how you can do like an Emmy, a Grammy, and what is the digital EGOT?
I don't know what the EGOT is.
A South by Southwest.
Oh, Steve probably already did it.
I have awards. I have awards from publications that don't exist anymore.
That's so cool.
Well, they were publications. They weren't websites. So yeah, it's been a while.
That's why they don't exist.
I won. I didn't win it, I guess, but the site that I made won Best Music Blog for the LA Record from the LA Weekly. LA
Nice.
Weekly. Yeah, so that was cool.
Back in the
But
day.
now that got bought by some terrible people, and we have to boycott the LA Weekly. So
back in the day,
The problem.
Macromedia, when there was Shockwave.com, Macromedia used to pick a Shockwave site of the day and a Shockwave site of the week, and eventually it was I think it was a Shockwave site of the month, and I won several Shockwave sites of the day. So I think we had about 10.
So they're basically like, well, this guy submitted, so he wins.
Well, no, and again, that was the thing was there were so few Shockwave sites that they just had to pick. They had to pick the one.
They're like, Steve, can you launch another site, please, so we can
best restaurant menu.
And we touted it like crazy, like it was like we were the shit.
Just for the record, though, like at any point was there really like a plethora of Shockwave sites happening? Because even at its heyday.
There actually were. There were
all like 10 sites on the internet.
It was somewhere in the tens. No, it was it was
a high percentage.
No, it was in the it was in the several thousands.
Low number.
So there you go.
That's a good story. Thanks.
It's not. It's actually not.
We were actually talking about that, Jason, about how to like advertise in Vegas, and like every casino has like best steakhouse voted by blog column over here.
Exactly. Really, yeah. You can just make it up.
One other trick that we should mention is if you do want to be featured in a magazine, like Inc. or Inc.'s probably too big, but like I don't know if there are any
featured in magazines. That's so like cross-platform.
Or on their website. A lot of those magazines will write an article about you if you advertise in the magazine or advertise on the website. So that's part of their trade, right? So if you advertise with their website, then they'll do an article about you. That's how. That's
actually called advertorial. It has a different name.
No. I'm talking about you get an article in addition to for advertising in the
I mean,
on the
it's
website.
Still advertorial. That's
absolutely. No, it's completely biased.
Yeah. So really, I mean, what you're saying is who can trust anything and anyone, and everything's a sham, and life has no meaning whatsoever.
I didn't say all of that, but yes.
That's what I'm hearing. And then Russ is in a casino, so he's like, sure, absolutely. It's a facade for sure.
So Russ is in the real world.
It's true.
Are you ever going to take any of those old Flash games, turn them into HTML5, and then like submit them to like Newgrounds or something like that?
I am not. Do you know? I am not. You guys, the game that actually made us the money on Shockwave.com. We had a game called Taco Joe.
Oh my God!
Taco Joe.
Taco Joe. Did you take tacos?
Wait! Can we guess what Taco Joe is? Because this sounds like
is this kind of like Pink Taco in a way?
Do you have a guess?
So Shockwave.com was a site where a bunch of developers submitted games, and they actually tracked your traffic, and they paid you based on how much traffic your game got. It was a very early.
Did they have one of those counters on the bottom of it?
They had a frog and a guillotine. It was a very early rev share.
Oh wow, dude!
And we submitted Taco Joe. That's not Taco Joe.
I know, but it's Taco Joe. They took your name.
They actually call it Taco Joe.
It's called Taco Joe.
Man.
Oh no.
And so Taco Joe,
you're missing out.
Taco Joe was kind of like Tapper. You remember Tapper? So it had a conveyor belt where the taco shells were coming down, and then you had a bunch of
it's overcooked.
Levers. You had a bunch of levers that would spit out meat or sour cream or
like for real though, Nintendo has that game.
Yeah, and it would come down the conveyor belt, and you'd have to keep up with the taco shells.
Is it that one, Steve?
That's us. Yeah, look at that. That's
Taco
my
gosh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that scene from I Love Lucy where they're putting like all, or they're doing like something with all the candies, and eventually like they just start eating all the candy. Like,
wait, I need to know this. Did you actually copyright that game at any point in time?
I did not.
Oh right, well then you're screwed because literally Nintendo has made your game. So I was like, what? It's the bus theory. Yeah. Here it is.
So they sent us. I think we got a check for a couple $1,000 a month. At the time, which was great. We were like, oh, this is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Taco Joe.
And then iPhone put Shockwave and Flash to bed.
Oh yeah. That was done.
Yeah.
It's a
Where did you find that? Did you find that on YouTube?
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's funny. I think I did own TacoJoe.com at one point, and there is a restaurant on the way to Palm Springs called Taco Joe's.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure there's a restaurant in every state somewhere that says taco and like insert like popular names from whatever. Like that would be a fun list to curate.
Taco Steve.
Taco Steve.
Taco Steve probably exists. Taco Rust. Taco Steve probably not. But like we have money, we can invest.
That's all right. I don't have any, there's that whole appropriating thing that's like a thing these days.
Right. Yeah.
A what?
Appropriating.
Appropriating, cultural appropriation.
Oh.
You've heard of it. Sorry, I don't, not to be a killjoy.
No, it's okay. I mean, to be perfectly honest, looking on Taco Joe, I mean, Taco Joe looked like he was a white dude. Just he was ahead of his time. He was just a white dude.
He looks like he's like a distant relative of the Mario Brothers. Like he's got like a
right. I mean, like a poor guy.
We purposely did like pixelated Minecraft looking art.
Oh no! What the heck is going on here, Steve?
Oh my God! Look at that. That's him making it. Is that a cockroach? Because
that's a cockroach.
Yeah, cockroach would come down the conveyor belt. And that was like the bonus. You had to smash the cockroach. It was great. People loved it.
People loved it.
Why? So you're not going to rebuild it? Why bring it back?
Oh,
you don't have time.
Oh, I do. I still own TacoJoe.com. Look at that. It's still on my auto renew. I need to go sell it to the taco stand outside of Palm Springs. I bet I can make $25.
$25.
I feel like there's the amount of old TLDs that people have collected in their various auto renew accounts is probably
by far.
Oh yeah, domain names, big time. Yeah,
by far, Johnson & Johnson. Like they probably just have like a 20-year-old kid who just sits there and buys domain names all day long. Like I wonder what their auto renew looks like, dude.
Like they buy just every new TLD that pops up. Like
yeah, seriously.
It's like cotton wipes in plastic bag.com. Like they probably just buy stupid stuff like that all day long.
I have nearly 100 on auto renew. That's mine.
Is that personal or is that for the
a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Gotta blend them together.
I wish I could have been a 20-year-old kid finding out about TLDs, and I would have skipped straight to the dirty stuff.
Yeah. I know there's a couple of guys in Huntington Beach that used to be across the street from the Zeek office that are domainers. I didn't make up that name. That's what they call themselves. They're domainers. They collect common domain names and they buy and sell domain names.
Do they own domainers.com?
They own I'm trying to think what names they had. They had some pretty good plain English names.
Domain King, and then they had all their domain marquees.
Is that like the Web King? Is the Web King still around?
I think we mention him like every few months. We're keeping
contractually obligated. Actually, he's
our primary sponsor.
$5. Yeah, he's sent me a check for $5.
WPwatercooler sponsored.
Is the Web King Taco Joe? I think they're one and the same.
Oh my God! Did you just uncover one of the most amazing things about the universe ever?
What was the Web King's domain name?
WebKing.net.
By the way, I know all this chat about stuff, but if we wanted to be useful at all, we could talk about the fact that 5.0 has a potential release date.
What? Why would we want to be useful?
Yeah, but I feel like that's a moving target at this point.
Like no one is even talking about it anymore. They're like, we're gonna put it out on this date. Everyone's like, totally, for sure you are. That's gonna happen. What the hell?
It's like that friend. It's like that friend who keeps saying tomorrow. It's like, look, let me know when I can download it, and I'll believe you that it's released. All right, like.
Wow, I mean that's the problem that you run with this type of a marketing launch. I think maybe now the community is over it though, so no one's upset anymore. Everyone's just like, yeah, launch it already. So maybe it was a good tactic in the end. Now everyone's just like, ugh. Over it, don't care. Launch it, don't launch it.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that the Web King's gone. I had to look it up on the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, you can go find it on the Wayback.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so sad. I actually looked up an old one of my first like web clients, like way back in the day. I built a custom web shop for her using WordPress when there were no custom post types or anything. And she got back the domain. She'd like sold her business and whatever. So they gave her back the domain. And she like had posted something about it. So I was like, oh, I wonder if I still have those files. So I used the Wayback Machine to go and check out my old website. That was my long story.
That's your only URL for the show notes today is the Web King Wayback Machine from October of 2011. That was the last I could find.
I'll definitely put that one on there.
I think they call this in television they would call this a character development episode. Exactly, like it's not plot advancement.
This is like Breaking Bad, The Fly. That episode.
I was gonna say this is what the writers' room looked like in like Friends, with like everyone just coming up with ideas.
We're like, hey guys, we're kind of tired today. We're just doing a thing. We're not really up in arms about anything.
I need a animated GIF lesson from the Web King. I think his castle with the only $99 zooming out of the drawbridge.
The Z that spins.
I just want to point out, if the Web King is no longer there, that means the throne is not occupied. Which means
I'm going after all those $99 websites.
I think you should maybe incorporate some Web Kingness. Talking about press, that could probably get some press. A page dedicated to
Z acquires Web King in $1 deals.
Yes.
Oh my God! And then
you put it out there. It's the most amazing launch ever.
And then make it responsive, and like this is what the Web King site would look like.
Just make it responsive. That's all you have to do, and you'll win.
You will win. You will win. And then the crown GIF is like.
You'll have to get a Windows computer to be able to edit the front page files that he sends you. But other than that, it'll work out pretty good.
Do we know the Web King's real name?
Do we? Can you ever really know the Web King?
It would be so great if his name was Henry or Richard. Like if it was like an actual
a king name.
Yes.
Oh, I need to find.
If it isn't, I would say my name is Henry or Richard.
How would you?
I need to contact the Web King. I think you're right. I think
there's an acquisition that's going to happen right now.
What if he died?
He's in Vegas, right? Yeah. Let's go find him.
No, he's got. Where's what's 832?
Don Hawkins
episode of WP Watercooler.
Don Hawkins says in the chat
for the Web King.
You need to make sure that you have the trumpets blare after 30 seconds of being on the site, because that's what used to happen on that site. That's what John Hawkins says on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. It looks like the Web King has moved to Houston.
Oh man.
No one's going to Houston. It was only a fun idea when it was to Vegas.
I mean,
I would go to Houston to film a remote episode. Like if we did like a live action, I guess we're always live action, but if we did like a remote recorded episode, like a digital short of Water Cooler,
where Steve hands over the dollar for the domain, and then the guy accepts the dollar.
Yep.
It's kind of like Shark
And
Tank.
he hands him the keys, and it's like a piece of paper with like all the keys written on it. Like it's like the kid that sells.
I thought you meant the actual keys. You mean like the SSH keys?
No.
Just written down in
No, I want an actual key to the drawbridge.
It would be a skeleton key. That's for sure.
And like what? Like the keys like etched onto the skeleton key.
It says SSL on the skeleton key.
I like this. I think we need to find the web page.
I feel like this would be watchable. Oh, if you guys want to watch something weird, Google a web video about Eli, the Nobel Prize physician. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but the video that is deemed inappropriate has resurfaced that he wrote. It's this physician dude. He just won a Nobel Peace Prize, and his video. Well, we would be able to exceed this video's standards, but just go watch it. Not for inappropriate reasons, just because it's an exceptional piece of filmmaking.
All right.
Inappropriate's hard too. This bad.
Look in here. It's 11:30. It's time to wrap up. Thank you all for watching this episode. We didn't talk a thing about WordPress. I mean, we accidentally mentioned.
I said the word WordPress.
We said the word WordPress.
I said
we said WP a
5.0.
few times because it's in the name of the show. But other than that, that's about it. I want to say thank you very much for all of you that watched us on YouTube. And today, I didn't tell you guys this, but today we actually stream live on Facebook. So I thought I'd try that.
This is the episode you launched to start.
It is. It is. You know, I wanted to make sure that people knew where we were coming from and that we would actually have a good representative of our.
You should have tested. You should have tested by streaming to GeoCities first.
This is the live episode you stream on Facebook. Okay. Does this mean we're streaming live on Facebook from now on and I should pay more?
I don't know. It required, my computer's pegged right now. I'm streaming to like multiple places. So it was pretty fun to see this computer just kind of start getting really hot.
I want to give everybody my AOL screen name and my MySpace link real quick.
Steve, what's your CompuServe address?
CompuServe.net.
All right, folks. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Web King.